What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, hopefully we will get this engine running and hopefully it will be running good. So we will have to be fitting all of this stuff back into the engine after we did the swirl flap delete on the intake manifold. We've got our new turbo, I fixed the broken stud, we have an oil catch can, we have a new boost pipe, and then obviously we also did the EGR delete on this Jeep. So we're not going to put on an exhaust, we're just going to run the down pipe, straight pipe. It's going to sound insane. So let's get started. I also kind of forgot about the engine mounts. I did reinforce them with polyurethane, so they are pretty good right now. They're up to 60 Shaw, which is, I think, is going to be perfect. So all that's left to do is now to get them in here. They are kind of on the block already, but they're still just hanging there. I need my engine hoist to lift up the engine, and then we are good to go, I think. So let's do that first. So I'm having a bit of an issue to fit these engine mountings. The first one is fitted, but I had to take this one out so I can show you exactly what it looks like after the polyurethane. I had to use a grinder now to just basically chamfer this because it is quite wider than they used to be. So I'm going to try and fit this one out, and hopefully it will go in as planned. So now that the engine is levitating, I'm gonna ask my lovely assistant to help me push this Jeep out so I can wash the engine and get into all those crooks and nannies. So let's get this Jeep out of here. We have it out. Okay, so now that it's out, I'm gonna go too hectic on the cleaning because the intake and the outlet is still actually open. But if I can just get that a little bit cleaner, I'll be happy. So let the time lapse begin. Okay, so now that she's clean, I'm gonna start with the intake side. I'm gonna work in the reverse order so that I know exactly what I've done goes back where it should be. This intake is now blanked off, the swirl flaps is blanked off, it's in the previous video, and that should be fairly okay. This I think is the hardest part to put on today. Time for the pool reel. How's it guys? So I woke up this morning and I feel terrible. I didn't sleep much last night and I've got a sore throat and no energy at all. So this is unfortunately the truth about making videos on YouTube as well, so that you do get sick and then you just can't go on. So I'm gonna take a day or two off and I'm just gonna rest before I start going further on this Jeep. And I'm back. So I eventually smashed whatever I had. So anyways guys, in my absence I've actually been busy putting all the stuff back in the Jeep, and as you can see, it's not in the garage anymore, it's actually outside. So I want to start it up for you guys and then show you what the results are of just cleaning the intake manifold and then deleting those swirl flaps and the EGR delete. But small problem, I still don't have a drive. So I had to buy that very expensive shifter PCB, and I hope that will solve it. If you have projects, you know that you put a lot of money into your projects. So the only way you guys can really help me with my project is by watching my videos, hitting the like button, remember to subscribe and share if you can with all your friends and family. So now let's go back to the Jeep. Now it's extremely windy outside today and extremely cold. So I've put back obviously the intake, the diesel filter, the turbo, the manifold, the intake with the map sensor, no air filter yet, I still need that. The boost pipe, I had to make a connection right there because I am using a different type of turbo, not the stock one. I filled it up with coolant, and on this side is just the intake, and over here I had to splice and put a connector on for the transmission and transfer case. It's just 6 wires that I had to cut. I redid all these pipes because they were perished. So let's start this up and then listen and see if it's still smoking. Yeah, let's see. So as you guys can see, we actually do have a little bit of a smoking issue still by the turbo. But smoke in general is about 90% gone, and I'll show you why there's still some smoke left. This is basically a diagnostics tool that I use to just see what my values on my injectors. So number 1 is running lean on idle, and number 5 is overfueling crazy. This means that we have to maybe change out injectors or get them cleaned. Even if we up the RPMs, you can see number 1 is evening out, which I do like and I do trust that injector then. But number 5 is still running quite high and overfueling, which is very bad for a diesel engine. So next up we're going to swap out number 5 injector. So it's time to take this Jeep on its first test drive again. I've changed the PCB, I've changed, well, a lot of stuff. The turbo, the inlet tank manifold that we did. So let's take it for a drive and see if it finally shifts gear and actually works. I'm just clearing all the codes. There is codes coming back on the transmission, there's codes coming back, CAN bus codes. I think there's a lot more wrong with this Jeep. But let's see, I'm going to try again, see if I've got any gears. immediately the engine lights came on again, and I've got nothing. Now what am I going to try? No guys, I've got nothing. It's smoking like crazy again. There's something. It's a guy sitting in the smoke and then realizing that this Jeep actually probably has done its life. It's quite disappointing, and I guess on that note, this might be the end of this Jeep. Okay, hold on guys, I made some progress. So let's take you on our very first test drive. We have an engine light, turbocharger, wastegate solenoid circuit. Okay, let's ignore that for now. Let's go for a test drive. Sounds okay. Sounds angry. I've got throttle. We are smoking a lot. Like, you know I'm coming. We are definitely in a limp mode. But I want to see how the gear changes are at the moment. Third gear. Okay, we have to turn here. I can't go too far. Third. She's struggling a lot and smoking a lot. You should see the rear view mirror. That's flat floor. She's in limp mode. She's in limp, and I can hear a diesel knock. Feels quite loose on the road, I must say. Not the best feeling on earth. Feels like something's very loose, like the rear end. It's probably that A-arm. Let's go park her. Sounding a bit like a whistling diesel at the moment. You guys can probably see the smoke outside. It's hectic. So anyways guys, that was officially our first test drive. Not great, we are limp mode. We were switching gears at least, so that's a good sign. So comment below what you guys would have done in this situation. Would you try and save this diesel engine with its transmission, which is obviously not good? Or should we put something else in this Jeep, or should we just sell it and move on to something else, something better? Thank you guys for watching. Keep safe. Cheers.